Malcolm McDowell, Ice-T, a shitload of sand, and a kick-ass tank. This week on Saturday Night at the Movies.
Hey everybody, it is Kate Phoenix, and I'm here on the Saturday Night at the Movies podcast with Brian.
Hello.
And Mr. Meathook, Daryl.
What's up, Sleepy?
Hey. I had a legitimate reason for why I was not on last time. And that was because I fell asleep because I had a really bad headache. So, meh.
Yeah.
reasons why. I felt really bad. Woke up the next morning and was like, oh shit, I completely forgot. So, but hey, I'm excited to listen to it though. Once it's up, I'm gonna definitely check it out and see what there's to say without me there.
It was a different dynamic, but we made it work.
Yes.
Woo. Well, how have you guys been? What have you been up to watching?
Ron, you want to go with your 800 watches first?
What have I been watching?
Yes.
So, other than the movie that we are talking about tonight, I caught Blood Quantum on Shudder. It's a Shudder exclusive. Just came out this past weekend, I want to say.
Okay.
Try to be politically correct here. It is a Canadian Native American zombie film.
What was it called, did you say?
Blood Quantum.
Blood Quantum. That sounds interesting.
Called Extremity, which that one seems a couple years old now, from Dread Central. Caught that. And then I watched the 2 Hot Tub Time Machines, because why the hell not?
I haven't seen the second one.
You're not missing much.
I haven't either.
I will go on record. Adam Scott, you're no John Cusack. Yeah, that's all I had.
Oh, wow. Slow week for you.
Yeah, pretty slow week.
Oh, well, I had like 3 times, or no, like double that.
I was like, you go through your entire stack.
Oh, God, no. I didn't have that kind of time. I did dig into it, though, but the first thing I watched was The Amazing Bulk, which is a
What's
wild...
that about?
It's a Wild Eye release. It's essentially a really bad, and I mean really, really, really bad ripoff of The Incredible Hulk. Yeah. The entire thing is filmed on green screen, but like the backgrounds are basically royalty-free backgrounds that you would download off the internet.
Oh, I have seen this floating around on Facebook.
It's probably because of Daryl.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's probably where I saw it.
It's sitting at a whopping 1.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's like, honestly, it's one of those movies that's in that category of like Troll 2 and stuff like that, where it's so bad that it's amazing. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest buying it like I did, but I only got it for a few bucks because I got it through a sale. But yeah, I would, if you can find it streaming, go for it. I think it's on YouTube in its entirety, but I could be wrong. After that, I watched a movie called Space Clown. It's about exactly what you think it's about. It's about a clown from space. It's not all that great. I don't regret buying it, but I don't know that I'll ever watch it again. And if I do, it'll be quite a while. It wasn't very good. Next up was Anthony Cooney's Leaf Blower Massacre 2, which is, it's the sequel to what was originally I think 12-minute short on YouTube. And it's a continuation of it. The only real star in it is Ari Lehman, who plays Phil the security guard. And unlike some of the stuff I've seen him in, he's in it for more than 10 seconds.
Do you have the same one I have where it comes with the first one? Yeah.
That one was fun. It wasn't amazing. It's not in my top of the week, but I did enjoy it. Next, I watched Carousel, which is a movie about a sentient carousel unicorn that breaks.
Oh, I want to see this.
That breaks free from the carousel and goes on a killing spree. It's by Steve Rudzinski. It's fucking hilarious. I can't decide between this or the next one I'm going to say if it's my favorite or not. But oh my god, I had so much fun with it. It's like everywhere. It's not streaming anywhere for free, but it's like $4 to rent everywhere. So I suggest that if watch the trailer, if it looks like the kind of movie you'd want to watch, it's worth the $4 to rent. It's a good movie. No, I mean, okay, not good. It's a fun movie.
Well, I was saying, you already sold me on the Ouija shark, so.
Yeah, I went ahead and pre-ordered that today. That comes out on, I think, the 20th. And the next one I watched was one that Brian and I discussed briefly last week. That was Velocipaster.
Oh, I want to see that one too.
I was
That
saying,
is-
it's on Prime.
Yeah, that's streaming on Prime.
Well,
I had a lot of fun with Velocipaster.
this house is a physical media home.
Oh, okay.
So, but
I'm
no,
all-
I
I
really,
am too.
I
But
really want to
also
see that
have
one.
Prime. I have
I
Prime
would
Video
say-
just because I have Amazon Prime. So why not take advantage of Prime Video and find stuff
That's
to buy?
true.
Yeah, I was saying, at least watch it on Prime first before buying it.
Yeah, I really want to see that one. And then Wild Eye made toys of it.
No shit.
Yeah. Who I can't remember who posted it, but yeah, they had posted Velocipaster toys.
That is,
And I was like,
I was like, who was it, Matt?
I need Clownado toys though. They've set the bar, they've set those expectations.
well, I know somebody made a
wanna be
big
a
Ronnie
toy.
toy. I know somebody made a big Ronnie toy, but I
Oh,
believe
from Greasy Strangler.
no big
No,
Ronnie from
Clownado.
Ronnie. Yeah, big Ronnie from
Although I have seen big Ronnie from Clownado figures also. I mean, from Greasy Strangler.
yeah. I can't stand that movie.
Yeah, we know you love it. It's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie to make friends, okay? But no, I had a lot of fun with the Velocipaster. It's certainly like I can see why someone would watch it and fucking hate it. There's so many just where you're like, what? Like you said, Brian, where you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where a car explodes, or at least you hear it explode. But when you see him looking where the car should say, it says insert VFX here.
Wow, that's amazing. I really want to. I've really been wanting to see it.
Yeah. And like the whole premise was he was supposed to turn into like a velociraptor,
Right.
and he just ends up being in one of those inflatable T-Rex suits.
I mean, it's a little bit better than that, but not much.
You know what? That's okay. I mean, and as you guys can see, I'm a big fan of dinosaurs. So
If you're watching a movie named Velocipaster, you should know what you're getting yourself into, anyways.
exactly.
I highly regret missing it at Frightmare last year.
I mean, let's be real here. If it's Wild Eye, you know you're in for a crazy ride.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Possibly a really bad one, but a crazy ride regardless.
I would say just have a bunch of alcohol by your side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I watched was it was an early Ron Bonk film. And if you don't know who Ron Bonk is, he was the writer and director of House Shark and She Kills. And the movie was called The Vicious Suite. Essentially, it's a gender-swapped misery. A scream queen gets taken hostage by one of her biggest fans. I was really digging it, but the ending just fell flat. Yeah.
I think that one's on Tubi.
I know there's some SR stuff on Tubi, so it could be.
If it's the one I'm thinking of.
And that is what I watched, aside from obviously what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. I actually watched a couple of indie films though that the last couple of days I've really liked. Like High 8.
Love
Watch
High
that
Eight.
one.
Love
I
High Eight.
freaking love Ron Bonk's Gangnam Style.
Yes.
Freaking love that one. I was cracking up the whole freaking time. So if you haven't seen High 8, definitely recommend it. It was so much fun. It was cool to see. It's always cool to see someone do, a full feature-length film, but I feel like sometimes they can put more into shorter films. And
Yeah.
so I really enjoyed that one. And you could tell that everybody who was involved had a lot of fun with it. And
Okay.
then
Is that a newer one?
No, that's an older one.
Or is that
There
the
was-
one that was
Yeah.
before High Death?
That was the one that was before High Death.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is my first time watching it. But yeah, really enjoyed it. And then watched Bone Jangles, which was a lot of fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I was not expecting not to spoil anything. Doesn't really spoil anything, but just in case. But the zombies, totally not expecting that. It just felt like it it was an interesting storyline with all that, but it was a lot of freaking fun. But I did not expect zombies. I guess I just didn't. A lot of the time, I like going into it without reading the back to, just kind of be surprised. So I was expecting, more of, I guess, like a Halloween type feel, but super happy with the zombies added into it as well. And then watched Cat Sick Blues. Have you guys seen that one yet?
I haven't, but I do. I picked it up during the MVD sale, so I will be watching it soon.
Really, really good. I highly, highly recommend that one and super enjoyed it. The everything was really good about it. I loved the acting. The characters were really odd and quirky, and so really enjoyed that aspect of it. And then tonight, actually, right before or earlier today, watched "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," which is always fun.
I must be the only one that just doesn't like that movie.
Really?
I've never seen it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, for some, like the Coen brothers, they're like very, very hit and miss for me.
I absolutely love this movie, and I love the soundtrack a lot as well. But I put it on in the background while I was working, so just had that there because I haven't seen it in years. But you said, Daryl, you've never seen that one?
I don't think I have.
It's actually based on the Odyssey.
Okay.
So it's definitely an interesting take on it. But if you're familiar with the story and you watch the movie, you could totally see where it would be, including his name. We'll watch that one earlier today, and then just watched Showdown in Little Tokyo with Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, shit.
Classic.
So I had never seen it,
I was like,
but we just got it in, so
I was like,
watched it.
Lundgren and Brandon Lee.
Brandon Lee, yeah. So that was ridiculous. We were laughing the whole freaking time. Like, I was cracking up. Just things that would never happen. It's great. It was a magical time for film where things could happen that realistically no one would get away with today. But yeah, so those were the most recent ones that I've watched. So kind of getting into our theme and such for the evening, because we're going to be discussing Tank Girl. So because it was a comic first, wanted to ask you guys what your favorite comics were or are.
I grew up on superhero comics and like some of the Marvel horror comics from the 70s, like Werewolf by Night and Tomb of Dracula, that kind of stuff. And then as I got older, I started trying to delve more into indie stuff. So really big on Bloodshot, and I hate the fucking movie.
Oh, the movie wasn't that bad.
You haven't read the comic. And I hate the fact
that's true.
I also hate the fact that Bloodshot looked nothing like Bloodshot. It just looked like Vin Diesel.
Well, yeah, he's the moneymaker.
Yeah, but they could have made some kind of attempt to make him look like Bloodshot, at least a little bit.
I mean, there are plenty of times though where they've just taken comic book characters and butchered them.
Yeah,
like more of the recent DC ones. Ugh.
the entire Marvel universe.
Hey, man, those
I
are
don't think that's as bad
cinematic
as
geniuses.
I don't think those are as bad as some of the stuff DC has put out, though.
I will defend Suicide Squad till the day that I die.
Oh, why? Why?
Because it's fun.
No.
All right, I would say I'll give it Aquaman. And
I still have not watched Aquaman yet.
Aquaman was really
badass.
good.
Wet Thor was badass, yes.
Wonder Woman was good. Pretty much anything that Zack Snyder didn't touch was good.
So then, Brian, what's your favorite comic?
I was always into Batman. As I got older, though, started getting to Tales from the Crypt and Watchmen, Killing Joke. So,
Killing Joke is fantastic.
Yeah. It is. I seriously have to, or I would say that it's probably the best Batman comic.
So, I would argue it's possibly the best comic story ever, period.
True, I would agree. And the film did not present it the way it should have.
No, it didn't.
No.
That was a big disappointment.
So, always loved Punisher. I have the series where he goes around pretending to be Captain America. And then the two of them end up getting into it.
So for mine, so I actually got into comics when I was a little bit older, you know, being a girl into video games and comics was ridiculously taboo. So, but yeah, I ended up getting them more when I was older, but freaking love Batman. Like a lot of the DC characters, really like the character of Black Canary and want to get more into her, you know, her original story and such. But I really, really enjoyed Saga. I don't know if you guys have actually read that one.
No.
You know, I actually have all the Saga pops.
Oh, that's awesome.
I take that back. I don't have Goose, but I have all the other ones.
I actually, because I remember when I walked into the comic book store and was like, hey, so I need something different, something new they've come out with. And he goes, hey, do you like science fiction? I'm like, heck yeah. So he handed me Saga, which was the first edition printing, which was really cool. And freaking fell in love with that one immediately. So I think that one's definitely my favorite. But overall, favorite characters are probably Batman and Black Canary.
Black Canary, they did good with on the Arrow show.
And I have not watched that yet, though.
Not so much.
I want to watch the Arrow show, but the Birds of Prey I'm scared about.
I had such high hopes for Birds of Prey. While the action is cool and it's fun, it's mainly just Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And that's what I figured it would be.
Like Canary was a letdown, Huntress was a letdown.
You know, in today's cinema with comics, it's
Usually
all
focus
about
on
trying
one character.
Yeah, and bring that money in. So, but with this one, have you guys actually read any of the Tank Girl comics?
I have not.
Nope.
So those I would highly recommend. They don't all like follow, you know, the same storyline, obviously same characters, but some of them are newer. Like there was one I was reading where she was talking about social media, and I was like, this is kind of weird having Tank Girl talk about social media, but I definitely would recommend that you guys check the comics out as well. They're really good. But yeah, so movie for this week is Tank Girl with freaking Lori Petty, who is Tank Girl. Like, I don't think
absolutely.
Like, she is the definition of Tank Girl. And what was cool, though, is I actually read something where when she first saw the image of Tank Girl, she chuckled and said, that's me. I was like, that is perfect. And then having Naomi Watts, Ice-T, Malcolm McDowell, who always plays an amazing villain. So these characters are pretty freaking crazy. Love everything about them. Do you guys have a particular favorite character?
Tank Girl. She's hot, she's hilarious, she's crazy, and she's fucking badass.
It's true.
I'm trying to think of the one, who was it? Dog? The one that she ends up having a romance
Booga?
with?
Yeah.
Yeah, Booga's her
Yeah.
boyfriend in the comics, too.
Yeah, just because... Oh, because he was a dog, and then they made him, like, part human. Because he talks about that in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, with the kangaroo.
Yeah.
Kangaroo human dog.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny that Ice-T was a cop. He's always a cop. I don't get it.
Which is
That's what he
ironic
does.
since in real life. Which is ironic since in real life he's a former gang member and pimp.
Yeah.
And people change. People change.
Oh, I know they do. I just like like every time I see him as a cop, I'm like, wow, that's ironic. All the controversy he caused with Cop Killer.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And
then,
now he always plays a cop.
It's because he's a badass. He's the cop that gets away with, like, the bad shit, though.
When you got to play good cop, bad cop, you call in Ice-T.
Yeah, pretty much. As much, I freaking love Tank Girl, but Jet Girl, too. Because she's also super freaking badass in the comics as well. And she's not as crazy. I think she keeps Tank Girl more level-headed, but she's still, like, freaking awesome. But with this one, what year? I was trying to remember what year. Oh, yeah, 1995.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to know how old I was then? 4.
I was 10, so.
I was 20.
Did you? You said you saw this one in the theaters, right?
No, I saw it right after it hit VHS.
Oh, okay.
Because, I'm old, so it was VHS and not DVD or Blu-ray.
So, but this one is probably I would actually say one of my favorite films. Didn't actually watch it until probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, it was probably about 4 or 5 now that I think about it. But instantly when I saw it, I knew why it had such a cult following around it, which is pretty crazy. A lot of people hated it, don't want it to be considered part of the Tank Girl series. The guys that wrote it aren't happy with it.
Well, that's because a lot of the stuff they wrote didn't get put into the movie, or just never even got filmed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think MGM got heavily involved.
Way too heavily. I think.
Well,
honestly,
yeah, and I'm really.
I think if we had their vision of the movie, it would be a much better. I'm not saying that it's a bad film. We'll get into that, but I think it would be a much better film if they had it. If they had gotten to write it their way and it had been filmed that way.
Yeah, and I'm really sad too because I was reading about how there was a whole scene where Booga and Tank Girl were chilling out after fucking.
And you see his kangaroo dog.
Yeah, it was like $5,000 that they wasted. Yep. Which is so freaking crazy because of censorship. Bullshit.
Oh, yeah, because it would have gotten the NC-17.
So, yeah, it's just really stupid and sad that it didn't get to actually be made the way that they wanted it to.
Yeah.
Even the director said that with MGM's hand into it, it just ruined everything. So what are your guys' thoughts on it?
All right, I guess I'll go first this time. Since I never do, I'll go first. I think one of my friends put it best when he said that Tank Girl is one of the best movies that no one ever saw.
That makes sense.
Because the movie was a $25 million budget and I made like $4 million worldwide.
Yeah, it didn't do good at all.
So I mean, box office wise, it was a complete fucking disaster. And it hasn't been on Blu-ray yet. It's been out of print on DVD for years.
It's on Blu-ray.
Is it on Blu-ray?
Yeah, Scream Factory put it out.
Oh, well, fuck.
That's the one I watched today.
Okay. I didn't realize it was on Blu-ray. I'm cheap. I bought the DVD. And even that wasn't cheap because it's been out of print for years.
Yeah, imagine trying to find a VHS.
But yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, and I'm sure that a lot. Once I read the trivia afterwards, I'm sure the studio has a lot to do with the problems that I have with the film. I enjoyed it, but I think it could have been much better than it was.
Brian, what did you think of it?
So I have not seen this in probably a good 15, 20 years. So revisiting it definitely was fun. That you could tell it doesn't hold up well with graphics, but it seemed like they're trying to take notes of what Mario Brothers did and do the exact opposite. Because some of the
compare Tank Girl and Mario Brothers. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Some of the scale, like the planes coming through the I don't want to say valley because it's not a valley, but like the hillside where you got all the factories and buildings like built in.
Yeah.
Like you could tell it was a scale model. You could tell that.
A lot of it was scale models. Some of it was matte paintings and they weren't very good ones.
So I'd rather have all of that over CGI though.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, they never would have been able to afford it then. Probably couldn't afford it now. I was saying the cast was good. I totally forgot Naomi Watts was in it.
I know, I'm jealous of her. And the scene where the creepy guy is trying to hit on her, and Lori Petty comes up and tells him to back away from her girlfriend. And kisses her. Yep. Pretty jealous of that scene.
Kisses her when she's covered in delousing powder.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'd be 100% okay with that.
I love this Iggy Pop cameo. Overall, for that time, I don't think anyone else could have pulled it off other than Lori.
I don't think anyone could now, other than her.
No. Margot Robbie is trying to go ahead and remake. Yep. Which I am like, no.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
I would say she'd be too much like Harley. So I mean,
not even.
I'm sure someone could pull it off out of the actresses today, but I'd
Lori
rather
Petty.
go with unknown name than
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Margot, but she's just everywhere nowadays.
Yeah. She would just be doing Harley, and it would show.
Yeah, pretty much. But I have a feeling we're gonna end up getting what we don't want.
Oh, you mean like a Hellraiser TV show?
We've been
Along
over
the
this.
lines of Tank Girl.
I know we've been over this.
We've been over this.
But yeah, with that, I think she definitely did an amazing freaking job. And I think one of the reasons it's one of my favorite films is because despite everything, they seem like they had just loads of fun doing it.
Mhm.
That even though it didn't come out the way they wanted it, and I appreciate that even though, half the stuff that they didn't even get to film was turned into the comic book style, I think
Right.
that at least added to it, and that it was done in their art form. So I think as much as it hurt, I think it also helps the movie.
Yeah, I mean, at least they were doing, what they could to make it work. You could tell
Exactly.
Laurie was really into it. Malcolm McDowell really went for it. Like, he was really creepy.
He was. And I think with him too, he just does good in any role he's placed in.
Even Caligula.
I think he's a really, really good actor, and he seems like he would be an interesting person to actually meet outside of that.
I think
But
Lori
he always
Petty
plays
is
a good villain.
among the most underrated actors out there.
I would agree.
Because she always, no matter what, she always puts 100% into her roles. She basically because I don't know if she's a method actress or not, but she seems to she just becomes that role. Like when you see her as Lolly in Orange is the New Black, like you really believe she's that fucking crazy.
I have not watched that show yet, so I didn't know that she made an appearance.
Yeah,
She's in most of
she's
it.
She's in 2.5, 3 seasons of it.
Yeah.
Damn, I know I'm really behind and need to actually watch it because what is her freaking name? The girl that was making all the other girls go gaga in that show.
Taylor?
She's in the Meg.
No. Ruby.
Oh,
Ruby
Rose.
Yeah,
Ruby Rose.
I almost said Ruby Riot.
That's why I need to watch that show.
I mean, Ruby Riot's kind of like Ruby Rose.
Less hot version.
But yeah, I do need to watch that show. And now that I know that Lori Petty is in it quite a bit, I need to definitely watch it even more. I'm watching too much.
Yeah, I honestly think she should have won an Emmy for her work in Orange is the New Black because she was that good in it.
I think you're right, though. I'd have to agree that she's really, anything that she does put her all into. Oh, it's really bad to say. I've never actually seen A League of Their Own.
There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
What? How dare
I know.
you? How dare
I know.
I saw that in the theater.
You know what? I grew up in a really sheltered home. So
But that should be one of the movies you would be able to see.
I know. But it was weird. The ones I could and could not. I couldn't watch Bedknobs and Broomsticks, guys. We've been over this.
Yeah.
I mean, between that role, her role in Point Break.
I have seen that. But yeah, with it, despite all the stuff that didn't get done and all the crap that went on with Tank Girl, though, I think that she definitely did and represented the character the best she freaking could. And I think that was amazing. Even Naomi Watts as Jet Girl, though, she was a lot of fun as well. And there was, small character growth there.
At the very end, that's where she really showed up. Which she has to have one of the best lines in that movie.
What one?
Where she's pointing the guy at McDowell's, I guess, second in command or whatever, the one that was always trying to get with her, and he's just like, "Oh fuck me," and then she's just like,
"How many times do I have to tell you? I don't want to."
And then she ends up pulling the trigger on him.
Yep.
Yeah. The small bits of character development there. So what were your guys' negatives for the movie?
Like Brian said, a lot of the stuff hasn't aged well. I think them using miniatures, but it blatantly being miniatures, and then Whoever did the matte paintings, I don't even know if they ever went to an art class because they weren't very good. I loved the comic book cutaways. Loved that. That was a great way to tell the stories that they couldn't tell because the studio wouldn't let them. I thought the overall story was good. A lot of the visual effects it's a miss.
Yeah, really the only thing that kind of holds up is the hologram face, but even then, you could tell its age.
It's definitely It's definitely mid-90s digital work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's just by its age there. Like the model stuff and all that could have aged a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had a budget but didn't have a budget.
You figure $25 million budget. That's going to include salaries. I don't know what anybody else got paid, but I saw where Ice-T said in an interview that they paid him $800,000 for that movie.
Yeah. That's
so
where the budget went.
The actual fucking stars.
Yeah, it was, I mean, you would have to think Malcolm McDowell got the most.
Right.
Oh, I can only imagine how much he actually made off that movie. But that's what happened is all of the funds went into that. Although the tank itself, I thought was really cool.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Because it was very comic booky.
I mean, I love that she was feeding it beer just to make it run.
Yeah, and to shoot out all that stuff with that, and then even the fact that it follows her and it responds to her calling, or she whistles at it and it comes.
It's like her little dog.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. With Jet Girl's jet too, looks very much like a comic jet, with the way, especially when it first flies out of the hangar when they paint it red and black. So I think that stuff that was definitely stuff done right. Were those the only negatives you guys had for it?
Offhand, that's what I can think of. Because, like I said, a lot of the visual effects and digital effects just haven't aged well.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be picky on like not having bigger name actors because I'm sure no one wanted to do it. But I mean, for the cast they had, I mean, I thought they did good. It's just really, it really just comes down to the special effects and everything.
And I think even despite that, though, because it definitely has a cult following, but I think with that, it makes me love the movie even more because despite everything, it survived. And it now definitely has a cult following. I think it definitely brought Tank Girl to people who never would have, necessarily known about her. And even though, a lot of people didn't see the film, those that did, it's definitely become a cult following.
And I think with the Blu-ray release, it'll help more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Especially being through Shout or Scream Factory.
There's a lot of people that will buy Shout or Scream just because it's Shout or Scream. They don't even care what the movie is.
The cover is actually pretty cool too, so it's very eye-catching.
Oh, the all blue cover.
The yellow one where she's blue, I think is. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Brian, who is your horror hottie of the week then?
Well, considering it's not a horror movie.
Yeah, or hottie of the week, rather.
Hottie of the week. It would have to be Lori Petty, right? I mean,
but Naomi Watts too, though.
But I mean, Laura Petty was definitely rocking it through most of the movie. So,
most of it, all of it.
Well, I mean, there's scenes where she's not in it.
She was still rocking it.
She was rocking it off camera.
Yeah, so I would have to agree with that, but it's hard. It's hard though between her and Naomi Watts, but. I
think if Naomi was in the movie more, she probably would have edged out. But I mean, Lori Petty was rocking as Tank Girl, so
it's true. Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that one.
I was going to argue with you if you said Naomi Watts, but yeah, I'll go with Lori Petty for sure. Not taking anything away from, not to take anything away from Naomi Watts. Definitely an attractive woman, but Lori Petty was the shit in that movie.
She was, and but I do love Jet Girl a lot. So then, guys, Daryl.
Yes.
Since we've wrapping this up here, did you want to go over your
Midnight Movie Madness?
Yes, in fact, it's going to be one of the movies that I actually watched this past week because I enjoyed it so much It is Carousel. I liked it so much that just to support the director, I went to his site and bought the Blu-ray as well.
Oh, awesome.
Because, like, you know, if you buy through Wild Eye, he's going to get pennies on the dollar. He's going to get pennies out of that, if anything. But you go hit to his site, I mean, he's going to get all of that. So I decided to support him. And, yeah.
How much was the Blu-ray?
It's $23 shipped.
So probably like $20.
Well, all the prices are just that price is that it shows you is the price shipped.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like it said an X amount of dollars and then you add it on shipping. Whatever the price says, that's the shipped price. But yeah, you guys should really check out Carousel. The jokes land. The gore is great. A little cartoony at times. What do you expect from a movie like that? There's a character that's literally a fucking guy in a amusement park mascot costume, but he like lives that character. He never takes the.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose I would, but like when he's going to try to stop the horse, he's still wearing it at someone's house. He never takes the costume off the whole movie.
Kind of sad I didn't buy it now.
Yeah, you definitely missed out. And the director even gave himself, I would say a cameo, but it's actually one of the major roles, and he's fucking hilarious in it. He plays the pizza guy. And he's really like, he goes to deliver pizza and they stiff him on his money. So he just like refuses to leave until they give him his money. And then the horse shows up and it just all hell breaks loose. And he's still the whole time trying to get his $42.39.
So now we've had 2 movies where people were not paid or tipped.
Yeah. I'm seeing
with pizza delivery, and it's turned out really badly. So if you are a pizza delivery person, it's best to just leave. Just leave.
If you don't get your tip, just go.
Yeah.
Just leave. it doesn't turn out right.
So the moral of the story is don't deliver pizzas for a living.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But yeah, that's one I've definitely been wanting to watch. That cover, I really like the cover of that one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I looked at it and was like, oh, this looks amazing.
It's a good time. I think everyone should check it out.
So then wrapping this up here, going back to Tank Girl, what would you guys rate it?
I will say 3.5.
I will say 3.75 out of 5 souped up tanks.
Okay. So I know I feel bad because I feel like every movie we watched, I've given like a high score, and I don't want to be that person, but I've just thoroughly enjoyed these films. So I will give it a 4 out of 5 bomb bras.
Okay. That's better than souped up tanks.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite look of hers, so that's why.
Oh, and I saw in the trivia on IMDb that she wore 18 different hairstyles and outfits in that movie.
Yeah, freaking crazy. Just did what she wanted. I mean, I could imagine that she could have showed up to set however, and they'd have been like, cool, that's what you're wearing for this shot.
Yeah, that's what Tank Girl would wear. Go for it.
Yeah, and I think the reason I rate it so high, too, is the charm of the film itself. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, everyone had a fun time filming it, and I think you can definitely tell, at least the actors.
The director and the writers, yeah, not so much.
Yeah, they went through hell on that one. But as far as the actors themselves, they seem to have a really good time, and I think that added something to the film. And so that's the main reason, even though like I fully am aware that the effects themselves don't stand up whatsoever. Well, awesome.
Brian, what are we watching next week?
Next week, we are going to be checking out the 1994 blockbuster Speed.
Never heard of it. I'm kidding. But honestly, this will be the first time I have watched Speed since the 90s.
This will be the first time I've watched it in like 2 years.
I love the movie. I'm excited.
It'll be fun to rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous and fun to rewatch.
I am going to watch both of them. I already know what I'm getting into with Speed 2.
I've never seen the second one.
It's on a cruise ship.
Right. It's called Speed 2 Cruise Control or some shit
Cruise
like that?
Control. Yeah, William Dafoe's the villain. in the second one.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he's really.
I was told you should have picked the second one.
You were told I should have picked the second one, but the first one
Yeah.
was so much better.
And did Birthday Boy say that?
Yes.
Yes, Birthday Boy said that.
Birthday.
Yes.
Well, you tell Birthday Boy that if he wants Speed 2, he comes on and does it.
Yep.
Don't threaten him, because he would.
Don't threaten him with a good time.
Yeah. But I am excited, though, to rewatch that one next week. That'll be fun. Well, thank you guys so much for checking in, listening to this. And thank you, Daryl and Brian. As always, you guys are super awesome. And
Yeah.
I always look forward to see what you guys, especially Daryl, thinks of film.
Oh, sure. What Daryl thinks of the movie. Because look at me.
Well, Brian,
I'm
we
Mr.
have-
Meathook. I have
We have
opinions.
similar.
Because
So-
well, I'm Mr. Meathook. I hate everything.
Pretty much. So, Brian, we have a lot of similar tastes in film, and I know that we've talked about some of the ones that we like. But Daryl, sometimes I just don't know. I don't know what to expect.
I'm really waiting for the one that he just goes over the edge with.
I know,
Well, fine.
which is what I was
pick
trying to
Scream
do. You said pick something,
then.
Scream.
Pick Scream.
Oh,
I'll save you the trouble. Pick Scream 4. We'll all go over the edge.
Yeah, I've never seen the fourth one. Don't care to.
what if we had you watch that one?
Well, that's a different story. I would watch it.
And squirm through it the whole time.
I would pout with my arms crossed the entire time.
My goal is to find that movie, though, without knowing what Daryl would think of it beforehand. But my goal is to eventually find the movie that makes him break.
Oh, one of these days, I'm going to pick a movie that I hate just to abuse you guys.
I
Well,
don't
what if
know.
it,
I
like-
can pretty much sit through
What
them
if
and
we
find
liked
I'm
it?
gonna be like,
something.
I'm gonna be like, what's the worst movie ever? What's worse than Things?
I don't know. I want to know. I'm definitely one day. Brian, you need to help me out on this, and we need to find the movie that does make him snap.
Oh, I'm sure we can find it easily.
I turned Mr. Meat Hook into Mr. Rant Hook.
Well, that's why I'm sad that you had already watched Veronica.
Oh God.
Yeah, I have no interest.
But Brian hasn't seen it yet, so I
Yeah,
almost feel like
I have no interest in it, though.
but you should. 'Cause
But I don't. And my saving grace right now is it's not streaming. Well, not
I know.
streaming for free. I'll say that. It's not streaming for free.
that'll change.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Surprised it hasn't changed already.
I know. I'll find a way. I will. Daryl, do you own it?
God no.
We own it. Got a free poster.
You overpaid.
Hey, it was also helping out Grindhouse, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
So, well, thank you everyone for listening. Appreciate it. And I hope everyone has an awesome rest of your week.
Yeah, wash your fucking hands.
Do it.
Do it. Do it now.
Saturday night at the movies. Who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby